Okay, once we're done there, we're gonna start working on the glute, and we'll start back on the opposite side. So we wanna put this above your sit bone, so right in the cheek, right here. What we're gonna do is cross one leg over the other, and we're gonna roll around the entire outer circumference of your hip bone, your pelvis. Okay, and you're gonna have to move your body around. That's not a static stretching exercise like you're accustomed to. We're using movement and body weight to loosen up the tension in the muscle. So I've got my leg crossed over here. I'm gonna bend the other knee up a little bit so I get a little bit deeper into the hip socket, those muscles that hold the hip tight in there, the piriformis. And again, we're gonna go all the way along the sides of the hip bones. When we find that tender spot, we're gonna sit down on it. Then we're gonna switch sides. Do the same thing. We're gonna cross the top leg over, and we're gonna start on the inside of the pelvis above the sit bone. And we're gonna work all the way around by rotating our body. Again, we're looking for tender spots, and we're working with pressure, with body weight, to reduce those tender spots. Now what we're gonna do is turn over and roll out the quadriceps and the hip flexors. So to do that, we're gonna move the foam roller off to the side slightly, and I want you to start with the foam roller directly above the knee. Support your weight on your elbows, and we'll start with the legs straight. Now again, we're gonna roll from the knee up and back down again. And we're not just gonna work on the top superficial layer of the quadricep, we're gonna turn the thigh out and then back in, so we make sure we hit the full length of the muscle from all angles and all the different muscle groups that comprise the quadriceps. And then we're gonna turn to the outside, again, rolling all the way down to the knee and back up along the full length of the thigh. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on the other side. We're gonna turn our body slightly so we can see a little bit better what we're doing here. Again, we're gonna place the knee on the foam roller, straight leg, just like so. I'm looking for those points of tenderness. When I find them, I'm gonna sit on it, put a little bit more pressure there with my body weight. I'm gonna roll it all the way up. And again, I'm gonna turn my body, work the outside of the quad, just like that, all the way back down to the knee. I'm gonna turn it again, and I'm gonna work the inside of the quad, all the way from the knee back up and back down again until you feel like you've gotten all those hot spots out of there. That's great. Now what we're gonna do is use the foam roller to release a couple of the muscle groups in the upper body. Now you're getting the hang of how to utilize this tool. And we're gonna start with the lat muscle right here. So we're gonna place that foam roller directly underneath our armpit. This is gonna get a little bit more uncomfortable. Now I want you to work from the lower point of its attachment on the rib cage all the way up to just above the armpit underneath the bicep. Okay, so we're just gonna apply gentle pressure. We're gonna start on the rib cage. We're gonna roll over it. And again, muscles aren't flat. They're three-dimensional structures. So you wanna work from slightly different angles to make sure we get all of those trigger points out. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and work up and down the full length of that lat muscle. Then we're gonna roll it over a little bit, and we're gonna work on releasing the chest right here, the pec muscle. You're gonna have to turn that foam roller at about a 45-degree angle to your chest. I'll show you what that's gonna look like. And again, you're gonna straighten out your arm right there. Try to keep the elbow slightly above the chest, and you're just gonna roll onto the chest towards the center on that 45-degree angle right there a couple of times. You will find it's tender and tight there. Most of us have rounded shoulders due to a tight pec muscle. So we're just gonna roll that out. And then we're gonna switch it over, and we're gonna go on to the opposite side. We're gonna start with the lat again. Start on the rib cage, roll all the way back up to the armpit. Again, working all the angles. Muscles aren't flat, they're three-dimensional. Working out any hot spots right there. And then we're just gonna go ahead and stretch out the pec, 45-degree angle right there. Arm out, elbow bent. Get our body weight right up on the roller and roll it out right here. And again, points of tenderness, we stop and work out. So that should give you a good idea how to utilize this tool as a stretching aid. And again, the whole concept is that we're using pressure generated by our body weight and the surface area of the roller as a massage technique to release those trigger points, points of maximum tension and tenderness in a muscle. When we release those, muscle tension is absolved, and we get a better improvement in flexibility than we get with static stretching alone. So make sure you utilize this important tool in your prehab kit to get the benefits of improved flexibility. Enjoy that stretch routine.